My hair and I just cannot agree today. So this is the Warped Tour video that never happened. That was supposed to happen the day after I got back, which didn't happen. My date was already 13 days ago. I'm almost 2 weeks late for this friggin' video. Good job. Good going, Paige. Cool. So I'm making it now to just tell everybody about my Warped Tour 2013 experience. My first Warped Tour experience. I lost my Warped Tour virginity and it was a nice experience. So starting out with Out in the Line, doors opened at my date at 11 in the morning. I don't know if it's different I think it's the same for every date. Doors opened at 11, we got in the line about 9 a.m., and we met some really friggin' awesome people. I think I went there with 2 CDs to get signed by artists that I like, which I forgot to get them both signed, so that was fucking pointless. And I left the venue with 5 CDs. Because, you know, there were guys walking up and down the line going, hey, here, have a free fin. And so I got a CD from Picture Perfect, Play Onwards, and I got the Victory Record New Music Summer 2013 sampler. Then we got in, and the first artist that I wanted to see didn't play until, I think, 1 or something like that, and it was I See Stars. It was fucking hot. Like, it was ridiculous. I brought in 3 water bottles, I think I had them all down before, like, noon. And we were there at 11. So, you know, we went and figured out, like, when all the signings and the performances were and stuff like that. And then we went to go see I See Stars because I love I See Stars with a passion. And I ended up having to leave the crowd right as they came out because sweat was literally dripping and I felt like I was going to pass out. I felt like I was going to be sick. So we had to leave. And I was pissed off. But I guess a lot of people got really, really seriously hurt in that crowd, so I guess I'm kind of grateful that I left, but still I really wanted to see I See Stars. But I did get a digital Renegade bracelet, so I guess that makes things a little bit better. Next artist I wanted to see didn't play until 3:30, I think, and that was Forever the Sickest Kids. And on the way to Forever the Sickest Kids, we saw New Year's Day in their merch tent, just signing and taking pictures and stuff for free, so we were like, yes, 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 because I didn't get to meet them on the Seen Is Dead tour. So we went over there, and while waiting in line for that, we missed a lot of Forever the Sickest Kids set to the point where we could only catch the last song. And when we caught the last song, it was my favorite from that album, which was amazing. Oh my god. When we went to meet New Year's Day, I had this book, because this is the book that I have on the sign, because I write in it. I write my songs in it. And Nicky Owens from New Year's Day reached his hand out to take the book, and it looked like he was holding it like this, as opposed to like this to grab something, and I shook his hand instead of giving him the book, and then they all laughed at me, and oh. But I ended up getting a picture with him, and I did get it signed, so there's that, and you can see the picture right here. And I did actually get the book signed by everyone from New Year's Day, so that was really neat. So, what I heard of Forever the Sickest Kids from the top of the hill at New Year's Day signing, and the last song that we caught was absolutely incredible. They're so talented, amazing, and we got in line for the meet and greet with them. And some guy was walking down the line selling these for $2, and so I bought one, and it is signed by everyone from Forever the Sickest Kids. Oh my god, I almost cried. See the picture of me with them right here. And they also all signed the book upside down. They also all signed the book. So this is a good story. While in line for Forever the Sickest Kids, Goldhouse's merch tent was right next to it, and I am obsessed with Goldhouse. It's unhealthy. I've been a fan of him for about 3 or 4 years, so this was unreal. And I went up to the merch tent. This is really great. I went up to the merch tent because the schedule was a little unclear on where he was playing, because the stage went by 2 names and I couldn't really tell which one was which, or if it was a different stage. So I went up to the merch tent to ask the merch guy where he was playing at, and so he gives me a piece of paper with the time and the place on it and says, come check it out. And I'm like, oh, totally, Goldhouse is one of my favorite artists of all time. And the dude kind of like off to the side that I hadn't really noticed until that moment, looks at me and goes, oh, thank you very much. And I'm like, okay. And then I walked back into the Forever the Sickest Kids line. I'm sitting there for about 10 minutes, and it hits me. The dude that said thank you was Goldhouse. I met one of my heroes and didn't realize it until 10 minutes after it happened. So naturally, I went back up to the tent to double check and make sure I wasn't going crazy. I went up to the tent, talked to the guy, I said, hi, I was up here earlier, and no joke, he cuts me off in the middle of my sentence and goes, I was wondering if you would come back up, and I'm just... That happened. So after Forever the Sickest Kids, we ran to the Paper Alligator tent to meet Jeffree motherfucking Star. It was awesome. He had this thing where if you bought merch, you could go meet him, and it was incredible. This is the second time I've met him, and he's sweeter and sweeter every time I meet him. He's the nicest person I've ever met in my life. He took a selfie with me. And of course, he signed the book right there. So then, our day is coming up to an end because the last artist I wanted to see played at 7:25, and that was Goldhouse. We went to the amphitheater to watch his performance because the venue that we were at had this big, huge amphitheater with rows and rows of seats, and you can go sit up on the hill and watch, and it's a really cool place. So we went as close to the stage as we could, as we were allowed to, without having VIP, which was pretty close actually, and it was really awesome. And Goldhouse was like getting ready and like setting stuff up for his set and everything like that. And while we were waiting for Goldhouse's set, we didn't really have anything else to do, so we just sat in the amphitheater and watched the sets until his. And in doing that, I was able to watch Tonight Alive, Hawthorne Heights, Man Overboard, Jen Wigmore, I think her name was. So they were all really awesome. I'm not really avid listeners of any of them, but they were all really, really great. And then at 7:30-ish, Goldhouse came out and was like putting the last touches on like the stage setting, and I was sitting there and I was fangirling because, oh my god, Grant from Goldhouse, holy shit. And so from our seats, we're like sitting back and I'm just like at the stage, and he pointed at me and did one back and smiled, and I cried a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. So then 7:30 Goldhouse played. It was incredible. My throat hurt from screaming the words. It was such a fun set. I really wish I could have been down in the pit, but I didn't have VIP, so that sucked, but that happens. So he was signing at his tent right after the show. We went up there. We were the only two up there at first. Like, two other girls like came and joined us afterwards, like a little while later before Goldhouse got there. We were the only two up there. And, you know, we were waiting for Goldhouse to come up to the tent. I look over at the Forever the Tickets Kids tent, and Jonathan and Austin are there just, like, talking to fans. And I look over there for a second, and I literally just, like, had to do a double take. I looked, and I'm like... So, you know, naturally, I'm, like, throwing down my backpack and my book and my pen and shit, and I ran over there, like, can I have a hug to Jonathan? He's like, yeah, sure. And he hugged me, and I told him I thought he did really good. And he's like, oh, thank you, sweetheart. And he said, sweetheart, and I almost squealed. I was like, you guys played my favorite from Jack. Oh my god. He's like, oh yeah, which one? And we had this whole like short conversation about the song and about what it was about. And oh my god, it was incredible. Holy shit. I almost cried. So we went back to Goldhouse's tent, and he showed up, and I looked over and I saw him walking up, and I just did this little scream. Oh, it was amazing and unreal. And oh my god, he was so sweet. You know, we talked for a little bit. I gave him a drawing that I did, and we took a picture, and I looked like I'm internally dying, which I was, and you can totally see that right here. And he wrote my favorite lyric of his in this book, which is, "We're talking rhythm, I'm glad you've got it," and then he signed it, which that's a big deal because my best friend and I are doing this thing when we're older where we're going to get some lyrics that we love tattooed. We're going to get some lyrics that we love written out by the artist that wrote them and have them sign it, and we're going to get it tattooed onto ourselves. So I'm planning, when I'm 18, I'm planning on putting the Goldhouse one, I think, like on this shoulder blade right here. And I'm also going to see the Ready set in August, which, oh my god, I'm going to fucking cry. And I'm planning on having him write out my first tattoo that I'm going to get, and that's going to go up and down here. So that was my experience at Warped 2013, my first Warped Tour experience, and it was absolutely incredible, and I'm so looking forward to going back. If you like these kind of concert experience videos that I do, then please give this a thumbs up and comment, subscribe. Tell me about your Warped Tour experience. I would love to hear about it. And I'm going to have another one of these concert experience videos coming soon because, as I mentioned before, I am going to the Summerfest tour in Cleveland with We the Kings, Breathe Carolina, The Ready Set, and T-Mills, and I'm literally tearing up thinking about it because The Ready Set is my favorite artist to ever exist in the history of everything, and he's my idol, and I'm tearing up thinking about it. So that should be a pretty interesting video when it happens. I'm going to that date on August 21st, so look for the video like a day or two after that, and by a day or two I mean 3 weeks. And this video was actually really fun to film and make and everything like that, and I hope you all enjoyed it, and look forward to more concert videos as I go to them and more regular videos every week. Bye guys!